So how's XRP and the altcoins gonna fare tomorrow with Jerome Powell and the FOMC announcement? We'll talk about that in some price action. What about a place where it's illegal to own crypto? Yeah, you could go to jail just for owning crypto, and you thought the Gensler SEC era was bad. Coinbase is looking to do some buying of distressed assets. Are you buying? And FIS has a huge partnership to bring stablecoin adoption along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Buenas tardes, muchachos and muchachas. How are y'all doing today? Well, hopefully good, because tomorrow's a big day. Not only do we have the FOMC meeting, but I finally get to see the specialist. Oh my God, I've been waiting months for this one. Now, before we get into crypto news, you know the deal. Your comments come first. You, the viewer, matter most. Javier Vergara says, good morning, Klaus. Canada has 3 ETFs ripping off the market, and the slow SEC has approved nothing. Thanks for your hard work. Yeah, Canada has also cut rates while the U.S. has been what? Beating its own meat. What are the odds that we're going to get a rate cut tomorrow? 2.1%. 2.1%. So if anyone out there is like, bro, Jerome Powell's giving us a 100 basis point cut, just call him out on being a freaking loser. What else do I got for you? I got Hermes hanging out and says, what are your thoughts on these credit cards that pay back in crypto? Andrew Jick just advertised on his XRP video from yesterday. I have no problem with it. I mean, like, put it to you this way. You know how, like, some credit cards give you, like, travel rewards, summer cash back? Well, dude, if they're going to give it back to you in crypto, what's the harm with that? I mean, it all depends on what is your needs, and are you cool with the interest, right? Let's just be real here, because that's the actual question when it comes to credit cards. But, yo, if these players want to give us crypto back as a reward, I'm cool with that. And hell, I think they'd garner a lot of new business if they did that. Bitcoin sitting at 170,594. ETH is 37.68. XP at 312. We still got that support above the $3 mark. Now, what will happen to XRP tomorrow when Jerome Powell most likely pauses? Well, you're going to be surprised, and we're going to talk about it at the end. FIS partners were circled to bring USD stablecoin to banks. Again, another partnership, and it all has to do with what? The Genius Act passing, and now players are what, everyone? Building lots of stablecoin goodies. So when we get some crypto regs like the Clarity Act or the Senate's version of the market structure bill, what do you think's going to happen? Yeah, we're going to get a whole bunch of partnerships with crypto companies. Global fintech giant FIS has entered into a strategic partnership with Circle, the issuer USDC, to enable blockchain-powered money movement across the U.S. financial sector. This is cool. Through the integration of Circle's infrastructure into FIS's money movement hub, the Triple M, banks and financial institutions will soon be able to support real-time transactions using USDC for both domestic and what everyone international transfers. So again, stablecoins, the preferred tool for international transfers. The Money Movement Hub is a centralized platform, designed to simplify and unify various payment rails, including ACH wire transfer and real-time payments, and now stablecoins. Pretty cool, huh? I think this is good, and like I said, I cannot wait for the Clarity Act or the Senate's version to start moving so we could see these same big announcements with cryptos. Coinbase allegedly in talks to acquire India's CoinDCX under $1 billion following the hack. Okay, so I shared the hack with you a few days ago. Maybe it was a week ago. I know I was out in GT when I shared it. And essentially what happened was this. CoinDCX got hacked, and they didn't tell anyone until Zach XBT called them out. That's pretty shitty. Now, Coinbase, not much better. I mean, we saw how, our information was breached for months. They also, made it hard for people to buy and sell. You get what I'm saying. Either way, Coinbase has money. There are assets out there that are distressed. So what you're noticing right now is more mergers and acquisitions in this space. And that is a good sign. Why? Because it means Coinbase feels comfortable where they're at cash flow wise, right? Also debt wise, and they feel good where the market's at regulatory wise to start buying more of these places up. This is what you want to see. Mergers and acquisitions, when those go down, we got juicy action coming, because this means the bigs feel comfortable to spend some money. Coinbase is allegedly in advanced negotiations to acquire CoinDCX, India's largest cryptocurrency. The deal, first reported by Indian media Live Mint on July 29th. Hey, that's today. This is breaking news. That's why you hit the subscribe button. The deal, first reported by Indian media Live Mint on July 29th, could value DCX at under $1 billion, down sharply from its 2021 peak of $2.2 billion. So again, you could buy some distressed assets with lower valuations if you've got the cash. Ripple's got cash. We saw them buy Hidden Road, and guess what? They got plenty of money left over to do some more buying. All right. You thought the Gensler era SEC was anti-crypto? How about this shit right here? I will tell you where I will not be vacationing next. It's Algeria. Algeria bans all crypto activity, and violators face up to 1 year in jail and 7,700 fines just for owning crypto. That is fucking wild. Algeria has officially banned all crypto-related activities from ownership and trading to mining and promotion under amended law from a new report from Algerian news and information portal Fibadali. Enacted on July 24th, law number 2510 bans the issuance, sale, purchase, possession, use, and promotion of all crypto assets. What? That's a bit wild. The law also criminalizes mining, the use of digital wallets, and the operation of exchanges. Holy shit. All right, look. We're not going to Algeria, okay? Just for anyone out there, I'm going back to Guatemala. Don't worry when I do the markets. I'll pump in, I'll let you know when, because guess what? I'm actually going back pretty soon. I know, were you like, bro, didn't you just get back? Yeah, but when I left, I had fun. And this time, I'm going to be taking my wife with. A key objective of the law is to strengthen Algeria's financial system against crime and terrorism, aligned with global standards in particular, though set by the Financial Action Task Force. It also addresses the growing use of crypto among tech-savvy youth and off-grid miners in southern Algeria, where they take advantage of... Okay, look. Obviously, they're not a pro-crypto place. But to ban all aspects of crypto, that's a bit much, man. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, because I get mining. Yeah, I could see that because it uses a lot of electricity and you don't really get that many high-paying jobs for it, right? Because it's the miners that are doing the stuff. But possession, wallets and shit like that, I don't know. That's kind of wanky. FOMC meeting preview. That's right, Jerome Powell and the Fed will accelerate Bitcoin, Ethereum, and an XRP bull run. Well, here's the deal. I don't expect juicy price action to happen tomorrow with XRP. And you're like, well, bro, why not? Well, because like I told you earlier in the video, there's only a 2.1% chance that he's going to cut by 25 basis points. Basically, when you zoom out and you look at the September meeting, there is what, everyone? A 66%. So 2/3 chance. That's pretty good of him cutting rates then by a quarter. So the majority of the market is like, okay, nothing for July, but September we could get the juice. Now, the price action for XRP happens like this. If, when Jerome Powell goes on the mic tomorrow, he's like, look, obviously we didn't cut it this time, but hey, September, we got your back, so we're going to cut. The market is going to start pricing that in. That's what the market is looking for, guidance. Because right now, if you've got hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever, and you want to expand, well, guess what? If you know that rates are going to come down a little bit, you're going to wait just those few more months for rates to come down, right? It's going to help out with housing loans, cars, credit cards, all that kind of fun stuff. So, XRP price action tomorrow. I'm not expecting XRP to really move a lot during the announcement of a pause, but I do expect some definite movement if he says, yo, we are good to go. It's time to pivot. If Jerome Powell is dovish and super nice and not a total prick, he could easily make the markets roar green tomorrow. Now, if he's like, I don't know, we have to wait for the data. We might cut it in September. If he starts talking like that kind of shit and still being negative Nancy about stuff, then no, don't look for any price action tomorrow. If anything, a smidge to the negative side. But here's the reality. Sooner or later, the market is going to start pricing in what? It's going to start pricing in the September odds of a rate cut. Yeah. And right now, the expectation is for December, right, to have 2 rate cuts. The odds are, again, 66% for 2 rate cuts by the end of the year. So, if he starts pissing on the idea of getting a rate cut in September, not good for the market. If he starts pissing on the idea of only getting 1 rate cut this year versus 2, not good for the market. If he's like, look, we can do it. We could start cutting, and we could even cut twice this year. The market will be juicy and start pricing that action in. Currently, right now, you're looking at 175 billion in volume. Altcoin season index is starting to slide backwards a little bit. We've seen recently some high numbers here. God, I hope the doc gives me good news tomorrow. Where we're right now sitting at 37 out of 100. So we've definitely pulled back, which means what? BTC is holding its gains better than the rest of the market. Bitcoin down 0.4% right now. BNB down 3.5%. Sol down 2.25%. XP down 1.25%. You see what I'm saying? So that's when you start seeing the sliding. Now, who would benefit from Jerome Powell? All cryptos would. Who will benefit from the Clarity Act and the Senate's version? Honestly, the altcoins, because BTC has been given the golden pass as a commodity, and well, so has ETH. XRP still looks juicy AF. Like I said, we're above that $3 mark. Volume right now is at $6.6 billion. I'm not going to go into the candlesticks because all I care about right now and my main goal focus right now is, are we printing more hourly candlesticks above $3? And tomorrow, again, is a good test with Jerome Powell and the Fed to make sure that he doesn't pee in the Cheerios. And if he does pee in the Cheerios, I believe we have enough strength with the XRP to maintain that $3 floor. So you wanted good news on this Tuesday? Well, you got it. Hopefully, I get good news tomorrow because I've been worried the last several months. So honestly, you're going to see some players start pricing this action in after this meeting, and the veracity, right, the oomph of which they start pricing this stuff in is going to be based on Jerome Powell. His optimism or his pessimism. Shit, he's been pessimistic a lot lately. But sooner or later, the Fed's going to have to pivot. I mean, they've been behind for so long. All these other countries are cutting rates. All these other countries are like, yo, we need to start sparking some growth. And Jerome's like, economy's good. We have no fucking problems. And I'm like, wait, what did you just say? There's like a shitload of debt. Jobs aren't the best right now. You're starting to see some players starting to pull back on their spending. So it'd be nice to get some dovish news from Jerome Powell. I'm hoping for good news tomorrow because, like I said, I get to see the specialist. But I got a pretty suspicious feeling that they're going to have to go in and start tackling my sinuses, especially right here. I can physically feel it right here. And it's like hurting everything that goes like down my neck and hurting the back of my neck, hurting my nose, hurting my throat. Yeah, I've been dealing with this for a while. Oh, maybe I'll get the good news tomorrow that they're just going to remove everything, and then I'm just going to be like, no head. I'm just going to be shoulders. That'd be kind of creepy, huh? No, that's not what's going to happen. Either way, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, and we're going to be live streaming tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Jerome Powell. Whew, $3 floor is still alive. Optimism from Jerome tomorrow? It'd be nice. Optimism from the doctor? That'd be even nicer. And if the cold front would come in and stop us all from our balls melting and sticking to the chair, that'd be even nicer. But the odds of that happening are as good as the odds of Jerome Powell cutting rates tomorrow, which means it ain't gonna happen. Choo-choo what? Choo-choo bitches.